What's up, guys? Today we're going to talk very simple. People coming into your life and people falling out of your life, especially when you're working towards growth. It happens a lot. It's happened a lot to me, and we'll talk about that. Next thing is up. When you question yourself, right? We talk a lot about having a positive mindset. But when you start questioning yourself, it's gonna happen. When you get a job interview or when you're about to present even content out there, you start to doubt yourself. You start to question yourself. How do we get out of that? That's something we're gonna cover today. And then after that, I'm just gonna start talking kind of about the USA versus Iran thing. A lot of people have asked me to cover that, so we're gonna cover that. Because I missed it in last week's episode, if we have time and if I remember this time, I will cover successful people are still people, but what do they do that's so different? And I promise to try to make that different than anything else you've heard around that topic. I'm going to try not to tell you like they wake up at a certain time and go to bed at a certain time. I'm going to try to give you some actual character traits that I've observed of all successful people. We're talking about it today on the Road to Redemption podcast.
Well, hello there, boys and girls. Welcome back to this episode of the Road to Redemption podcast. It's your boy Cam.
Going live. Lights, cam, action. Road to Redemption.
Your Road to Redemption.
What's up, guys? We are back, and today, first things first, we're talking about when people come into our lives, what that means to us and how we have to be careful with that, but also how you can enjoy that, and what happens when people fall out of our lives. So, I've noticed, and I heard it a lot, especially in the beginning, when I've always been kind of a loner anyway, so I don't have a whole lot of people around me, but in business and in networking, you definitely do have to bring more people in, and you have to allow people in, you have to trust people to a certain degree, and I don't have a problem with trust in any way, but I definitely feed off people's energies, and I'm pretty good at reading people's intentions, regardless of what they say. I look at more what you do and how you say things and what's happened around you and other projects you've been a part of. So really, I think I'm a pretty good read on when things are starting to lose balance or maybe things aren't working well together anymore. So I want to talk about that. Recently, as I've really been making a hard push in my life to be more grounded financially, have more stability in that area, I've kind of started looking more back into the 9-to-5 aspect of things and big potentials there. But I'm still doing my creative thing as well, my podcast and things like that, and I'm a part of a few different branding things that are going on. But my big thing right now is obviously getting this job, the job of my dreams. And I've pushed hard, right? This job has been something I've worked towards for years with all my different ventures and all my branding and all my advertising and all that kind of stuff. This is what it's all been about, is getting a job like this. Recently, right before, and you always hear like the storms come right before the calm or whatever, the calm before the storm, but it's always the darkest right before the sun comes up or whatever the hell they say. You get what I'm trying to say. I had a situation where I had someone who I had recently brought in, and I considered them a friend. Maybe too early. We didn't really know each other all that well, but I trusted them. We seemed to be of a similar mindset. What they had to offer was very exciting, and I think I could offer them something that was very exciting. And it turned out to be that who this person was as a human being and their character traits is not someone that I would A, do business with, or B, be friends with. So it was a situation where we hadn't known each other really long enough that it was even owed an explanation, but it was like, I'm not doing this anymore. You know, I tried to resolve some issues a few times, and it just didn't seem to be getting through to the person that that's what I was trying to do. They wanted to continue to argue and fight and drama, and that's not me. So I was like, hey man, no problem, no hard feelings at all, but I'm done with this. I'm not going to do this anymore, and I just don't think we need to collab our talents anymore. And to me, that's no hard feeling in that. That's not a bad thing. That's just we don't work well together. And that may happen at times. And I could even still work with that person, but I'm choosing not to take on any more personal projects or have a personal relationship with you or a professional one anymore. But again, if we ever showed up on a project together, I would have no problem with that. And so that's kind of how you have to be. In the beginning, my feelings were hurt because in the end, I realized that while I thought we were friends who were just collabing talent ideas together, in the end, it seemed to be more of this person was looking for something to make them bigger or to grow their network or whatever, and they thought that they were going to have an unlimited tap to me and my network in that area. And one, I protect that network very closely, like I tell you guys. And also, it's just important to me that I know people better before I start doing a whole lot of stuff, and that just didn't ebb and flow with what their goal was and what they were trying to accomplish. So what I want to tell you and what I want to encourage you, and I'm not meaning this in any negative way, but you have to really watch, because where I am in life, I definitely wouldn't say I'm anywhere close to where I want to be by any means. I'm still at a low place in my goal totem here, but the one thing I have learned in the pursuit in the levels that I have reached up to this point is you're going to have people that think you're more successful than you are, and I always try my hardest not to make that be a thing that seems like on my social media, that when people watch me they think my life is some grand thing when it's not. Like today I posted a picture of me mopping a floor, and that's what I do, and that's a part of one of my jobs is I mop a floor at a gym. So I definitely, my life is not glamorous by any means, but people see the Instagram followers and they see the podcasts and they see that kind of stuff and they think that I'm something, or they at least think that I think I'm something. And because of that, sometimes people go and they buy into it and they go, well, okay, then he is this person, and they think that by associating with me they can get sponsorships or an audience or whatever. And I try to tell people, like, man, I don't even have an interest in trying to get people's attention like that. I just try to put out content that I think is important and that I like and that I think is good and that fits with who I am as a person. And the people that are meant to find me, the people that are looking to be kind of an industry disruptor in all industries, so you could be into fitness and martial arts and podcasting and comedy, and you could be into all these things, and it's okay. That's okay. That's all a part of who I am as a person, and you can be all these things plus motivation and business and marketing and sales, and that's all encompasses of who I am. But some people, they don't see that, and they don't see that there is a method to the madness. Again, I don't have any final results that or hard proof that what I do works, but I can tell you every day gets better, and I can tell you that it's only by listening to my intuition and by cutting things off, that when I cut things off when they feel like they need to be cut off, I've always seen drastic growth in my own life afterwards. So maybe some people would call that selfish, but I think sometimes you have to be a little selfish, because like I went on a big rant on my Instagram story today, or on my Instagram live, is you have to be precious with your time. You can't allow people to take up your time and pursue relationships that are taking away from your overall goal in life. Even if, for me, yes, I do a lot in business and a lot of stuff like that, but for me, my goal is for my family to know that they're loved and that they're taken care of and all their needs are met. So if I go and lose myself in my jobs and my work and stuff like that, then I've lost the ultimate goal. So those two things always have to come together. Let me check the camera. So that's one thing I'll warn you about is just watch. Watch that. There's nothing wrong with understanding how two parties benefit each other, but you always have to watch that maybe you're not being used in some way, or that you're not attempting to be used, or not even used. That's such a negative term, but that someone doesn't expect more from your relationship than what you can even offer, and that they don't even have an idea. That I guess you have to know. And the only way I can really put it into any sort of perspective is if you had two people that met in a local bar and one of them was a millionaire and the other one wasn't, or say this person had this perception that this person was very wealthy, but they're not, and they go and they associate with them and they latch on to them and they befriend them, and all the while the person has no idea that this other one thinks that they're famous or wealthy or whatever that their assumptions are. So then they're basing this relationship off these assumptions when the other person has no idea about that or any plan to deliver on this. So then when something happens and things quiet down or whatever, everyone's confused and everyone's lost, and it was really just a miscommunication is all, but I don't know. And it's something that it can definitely affect you. When they say that the rise, I'm not going to say the rise to the top because I don't know what I call my level of success, but I'm not trying to be the top of anything. I just want to get the best results for the people that I work with possible. Whatever that means and wherever that takes me in life, I'm happy with that. So anyway, let's move on to the next topic here. When you question yourself, how do you get out of that loop? So that's very important, right? Sorry, I got an eyelash here. I find myself a lot during this interview process that I just did with a marketing company. I found myself doubting myself a lot. Am I good enough for this? Am I qualified enough for this? Would I really perform for them like I want to? All those kind of questions come up, and just because of my life and because I've often been more criticized than praised in things that I've done, that was just kind of the way it's been, but also a lot of that was my own doing. I had never, in my childhood, I didn't commit to sports. I committed to music and art and things like that, but certain people in my life didn't find that to be acceptable, so I was never really seen as an achiever or someone who should be confident in what I'm doing. It was either criticized or the things I was graded on I didn't do very well, like school or whatever. With that, trying to gain confidence, you have to understand that that's all that is you questioning yourself, is you're going back to old times when you had to have confidence in yourself and you couldn't muster the ability. So right now, today, listen to me when I tell you, next time you have to believe in yourself, just make the choice to do so, because that's how you rewire it in the opposite way, right? You have to, as soon as that negative thought comes in your head of I'm not good enough, you have to go, but yes I am. Now, the thought alone will do nothing for you. You have to also do the actions behind it that will warrant the confidence when you say that. Yeah, I can close my eyes and go, I'm going to be the best basketball player in the world, and I can say that 100,000 times, but if I'm not outside shooting ball, that doesn't mean nothing. So again, you have to go throughout your life every single day taking the action that it would take to become whatever it is you're saying, so that way when you sit down and you meditate on it and you say, I'm going to be a person of influence that changes this world, you know that because you've done the work to make that happen. You're just continuously making the daily progress and trying to be consistent enough and do those things until you get to the place where, bang, now the world is listening. But that is done by the small everyday actions. You get the confidence to believe in yourself, then other people see how you believe in yourself, they believe in you, bang, now you've got an audience. It's pretty cool, right? I thought that was important to share. I want to talk to you guys. Last thing, my thoughts on the Iran and Trump situation, or USA-Trump situation. I don't disagree with what our president did. The individual who was taken out or was eliminated was a not good person who is literally like taking a lot of our soldiers, or taking some of our soldiers, treats their people terribly, is just an absolute kingpin in terrorism. So this person being eliminated off the map is nothing negative. I'm not upset about it. I'm not upset about the way it was handled. If he didn't get clearance from whoever, but he knew he had the shot, hey man, you take that shot. Apologize later. But again, you got to be able to explain it later. So if you can't turn around and rationalize why you chose to pull that button or hit that switch, well, yeah, you got a shitstorm coming. But in the end, everything seemed to pan out that he made the best decision. So, and I don't know if it was propaganda that I saw or not. You guys know I don't pay much attention to politics, but I saw something where the people of Iran are like praising Trump and thanking him. Thank you for helping us. We feel like you're on our side and you're defending us. That's kind of neat. It's always cool if that's actually what's going on, that people notice that Americans are kind of, I don't like playing into the fact that we're the world police, but if anyone knows that we have their back, I think that's a good thing, and that we're stand up for doing what's right for humans, not for Americans, but for doing what's right for human beings. I think that's a really, really important thing. So, guys, that's all I really wanted to share with you today. I did promise you if we had time, let me check the camera one more. Alright, we'll reset here, and then let's just talk about some observations I've made about what makes successful people successful, and I promised I was not going to add the usuals of the waking up early and taking care of your body. Things I've noticed that have affected me, and when I've started implementing them, I've noticed that I found more success, so that's why I'm sharing them, because I can tell you from experience that they work, at least to get me to the point of success, or success in my realm of life, or my spectrum. What that means to me is read. You have to read. Now, you don't have to sit down and physically put eyes to words. Audiobooks, you have to be consuming knowledge that's not music or podcast. Now, podcasts can have knowledge in them as well, but you need to be learning something from a structured thing. You need to be constantly growing your mind in some way. On top of that, meditation. Your mind is obviously going to be kind of a theme here. You need to meditate. You need to shut it all down, especially when you're a hard charger and you're chasing so hard for success and for big things. It can be almost addicting, and you don't want to take time off, and you don't want to rest for the FOMO, the fear of missing out. Sometimes it can get to be a lot. You got to learn to shut down. You got to shut it down. You got to recharge the engines. You got to make sure that your energy is in balance, right? That's very, very important. On top of that, I think outside of your business and everything else you're doing, you have to have at least somebody in your life that you can talk to who's not associated with your businesses in any way. You have to be able to have someone that you can only talk about personal things, your feelings, stuff like that too. I think that's very important, even if it's a therapist. And then also, I think you need to really watch successful people. They've learned to watch their vices, whatever those are. Some people it's drinking, some people it's smoking weed, some people it's whatever, but they've all learned to manage whatever their vice is, going to the gym too much. They've learned to manage that, and those are just all things I've noticed during the past couple of weeks, and I wanted to share them with you. I wanted to share that with you last week, but I didn't remember, so I got to send that down the line to you this week. Guys, I love you. Please subscribe if you're on YouTube. Subscribe even on all the audio podcast forms. Give us thumbs up if you have that option. Leave us a review. Share it with your friends. I appreciate you guys so much. Also, this episode is brought to you by Manscaped. Guys, go over and use code ROAD20 on the Perfect Package 2.0. Perfect Package 3.0 is coming out very, very soon. I think I should have one in my mailbox any day, and then I'll be able to show it to you, show the upgrades. Again, use code ROAD20. It's awesome. Guys, the skin-safe technology has saved my life. It's saved my life. You go to Manscaped, even here, up on your chest. It's neck below, you know. I go to say, with the old razors, it would freaking pull my hair? Never. Never. The skin-safe technology is the bomb. Then I use the crop refresher, spray it, and I'm out the door, baby. Good to go. Guys, manscaped.com. It's in the link below. Road 20. We're out. Have a good day.